Hello and welcome everyone. I'm your host Stefan Burns, geologist, geophysicist, space weather guy, your cosmic bro, here to help you understand what is happening with the planet. And right now we have Kilauea Volcano erupting on the big island of Hawaii. Now we've been having these episodic eruptions going back to December of 2024. This is the 45th one. So this one is now, we're really getting up into the numbers, getting close to 50 eruptions in a row. I saw them back in August and September when I was on the Big Island 2025. They've been continuing. We've had lava fountains going up 1,600, 1,700, 1,800 feet, so 500 meters. The lava fountains from this one have gone up about 1,000 feet according to the USGS. It started up around 6 hours ago. So we're not looking at the live feed at this exact moment in time. We're looking at the live stream, but about 6 hours back. So let me show you. We're gonna go just look at some of the other time periods, and then we'll move up to where it's looking like right now. So here we see where it was overflowing and both vents open. This is how it starts off. This is where we just were. It's about 6 hours ago. And you see that it's not the biggest eruption. Here we are now in real time. So not the biggest eruption, but definitely, an eruption at Kilauea. And the bigger story here is about how they've become more frequent. So there's this increasing frequency of eruptions now that are just starting to take place. So let's look at the long-term data set here. We'll go back to our eruption footage in just a little bit. So here we see all of our eruptions going back to December 2024. And every single time it goes up, that's inflation of the magma chamber. And then when it goes down, that is an eruption. And so we see that it was a little bit chaotic in the beginning here, but then it started to really settle into a fairly regular rhythm. And then we had this period here recently of these really big eruptions, like 12 hours in length, huge discharge events, and more. And overall, the tilt overall for the area has been going down. Now we see episode 44 here. This is episode 44. That really, and let's zoom in on that. That one really took a long time to refill, and it was just a short eruption. And now the refill rate has basically resumed to normal. Look at the slope here versus the other slopes. And now it's going down again once more with episode 45. But you'll notice some pretty big changes. Just looking across this record, things were pretty normal. Some variation, but fairly normal. But then the moment we got an earthquake to strike at the bottom of the eruptive episode, I think it was episode 38. I mean, we have 45, 44, 40, 3, 2, 1, 39, 38, 37 it looks like, right here. I believe that's the one. We had an earthquake strike right after the eruption finished, like 10 minutes afterwards. The ground was shaking. It was like a magnitude 4.2, I think, or 4.1 in Volcanoes National Park. Clearly there was a change because we started to see the cycle alter. The inflation rate alter, we see that really clearly up here near the end. We started to get more deflation events and magma surges, but not fountaining. And then before episode 43 right here, really a lot of up and down, and then this one really being off, and now we're here. So we're seeing this now increase again in the frequency of eruptions. Now it may not hold, it's just a short-term trend. But things are seemingly changing at Kilauea, which I find interesting. So that's that's something to be mindful of, because Kilauea is connected to one of the biggest hotspots on our planet. And when there's changes there, it's really speaking to changes with mantle convection and things that are happening at the core mantle boundary. And also, by my assessment, it's also speaking to what's happening with the Pacific plate, which is the largest plate in the world, the geologic plate. Here we can see another view of Kilauea. Let me get this live. Yeah, it looks like it's live right now. That's great. Here's another view of Kilauea right here. So it is looking like it's coming to a close, but we'll see how long it continues to erupt like this for. But I think right now, what we're seeing from Hawaii are some changing dynamics with the hotspot, because we're getting more earthquake activity in Volcanoes National Park. We're getting these episodic eruptions, which they've happened before, but they're not super, super common. And I think there's big surges of magma coming up from depth, and we're starting to see those surges manifest. And so I would not be surprised if you start to get maybe bigger volcanic activity at the Big Island of Hawaii. Most likely, I mean, Maui could as well, but Big Island, Hawaii in the next few years. Now, I'm getting reports right now, people are commenting that we just had an earthquake, New Madrid. And this is something that we check. Haven't seen big earthquake activity on New Madrid in a while, so we can pull it up. Do so right here. Here we have our USGS latest earthquakes map, and they are showing a magnitude 4 earthquake has struck Missouri right here in the New Madrid system. So there we go. Boom shakalaka, folks. That is that's definitely one that you'd feel. Anyone in this area would feel that magnitude 4. Now, it's not going to be too far out in terms of being a felt earthquake, but that is not one of these microquakes that you're not going to feel. Magnitude 4, you can definitely feel. And as it relates to in the New Madrid system, if you're unaware, it's an ancient rift valley that's underneath all the sedimentary rock of the North American continent here. It's buried quite deeply, and it can have magnitude 7 plus quakes. So anywhere in that magnitude 7 to 8 range, it can have them. Back in 1811, 1812, it had a whole sequence of mid-magnitude 7s, like multiple over the course of a few months. So this is a notable development. I don't know the last time there was a big earthquake like this in New Madrid. I mean, I wouldn't call 4 big, but it's notable for sure. Here we can look at the map. We see the intensity spreading out quite a way. So if you're in Memphis, people probably felt this in Memphis. The thing is to keep in mind is that, here we go back to here. Thing to keep in mind is that with sedimentary fill, you feel these earthquakes a lot stronger. So this is probably felt in Memphis, even though it's just a magnitude 4. I think it's close enough by. This looks like, what, Blytheville? They for sure would have felt this. Or anyone right here in this area around Chickasaw National Wildlife Refuge. Dyersburg, they probably would have felt that magnitude 4. So that's quite significant. I have some sort of I'll have to turn that off. There was audio in the background from the volcano. I'll get it back on in just a moment. Let's just do a quick Google search here, or earthquake search here, going back to the year 2000. And let's just see what sort of earthquakes pop up on New Madrid during that time frame. I'm sure there's going to be some other magnitude 4s and such. And we'll set it actually to, we'll set to 3.5. We'll zone in right here. Let's just choose this area, just like that. And search. Okay, if we go here, largest magnitude 4.2 in 2005. Again, this is going back to the year 2000, January 1st. We see a 4.1 in 2005. Further, these are close together. You see them right here. These are fairly close together. So 4.1, 4.2 within 3 months of each other. Then we have today's magnitude 4. So a Kilauea live stream turning into a New Madrid earthquake live stream pretty quickly for you folks. But this just happened, coming in magnitude 4. And again, if we click this and we go to our origin here, and our magnitudes, we see they've chosen the covering it. We see that they've chosen the magnitude 4 right there. So it looks like that is the estimate. Maybe it changes a little bit, but probably not. Probably will stay right in that zone of magnitude 4. Maybe it goes to 3.9. Maybe it gets bumped up a little bit. We'll see. But hopefully not a foreshock to something bigger, because that could be very bad. So we don't want magnitude 6s. Even magnitude 5s. People in this area are not used to earthquakes, and magnitude 5 can knock over a lot of chimneys, create a lot of damage for a more localized zone, but that could be a problem. But magnitude 6, magnitude 7, magnitude 7.5, we got some problems. Starting at magnitude 6, we really got some problems. So hopefully that's it. But we do see geologically, as we just saw back in 2005, burst activity. That was just 2 events, but if you go back to 1811, 1812, multiple earthquakes popped off at the same time, all in the mid-mag 7 range. So hopefully this is it, but this area does have a history of having multiple events occur within a few month time frame. So now this is an area to watch. And it will really be an area to watch if you get some more magnitude 3s and 4s. But just even this one earthquake makes it, okay, this is now an area to watch. 3rd largest earthquake in this location for the past 26 years. We had some significant solar flare activity coming today. Oh, we just had another big solar flare. All right. So this video is turning into something different, but that is fine. Let me show you the solar flare activity. We have multiple M-class flares popping off, just as forecasted. We talked about how, as we had Comet C 2025 R3 PANSTARRS perform this, yeah, we will check the C3. Someone's saying check the C3 chronograph. We're going to look at the comet. But C 2025 R3 PANSTARRS is performing this Sun-Comet Earth alignment. You know, I've talked about this many times. These are sort of alignments that we look at with comets for there to be more solar activity from the Earth-facing side. Well, guess what? These are our first M-class flares going back to April 9th when we had a 1.0 M-class flares, and really yet to go back, I think it's to the 4th, to get a more significant solar flare, like a 3-point-something M-class flare. Now we've had 4 M-class flares in the past 18 hours or so. A 1.6, it's actually 3 of them right there, but we'll count it as 1. Then we have this 4.6, I believe. Comes in right around 4.6, and now we have a 5.0 M-class flare right there. So a lot of activity. Maybe this person saying check the C3 was actually not referencing the comet, because we actually also just had recently a partial halo coronal mass ejection. So I think this one should do it right here if I want to turn this on. There we go. Move off to the side for you. Here we see that partial halo coronal mass ejection from the solar flare activity. So we're probably going to get hit to some degree by this. I don't think it's going to be a big hit, but we already do have some space weather coming in. Plasma filament that launched off a couple days ago. We actually just had another plasma filament launching right now. We'll look at that too, though that one's not Earth direct from what I've seen. But here we have C2025 R3 PANSTARRS coming in hot. So this will be in this alignment right about here on the 25th, 26th of April. So just in a couple days, and we have a sunspot that's becoming very active, rotating into view. So things are definitely heating up. Let me show you some of the latest activity from the SUVI. To summarize, basically we have sunspot group 4420 right here making its trip to Earth center direct. And and that very well potentially could launch a bigger solar flare, coronal mass ejection, or multiple during this cometary alignment. I'm thinking high M-class flare or even X-class flare. I wouldn't be surprised if you get an X-class flare in the next few days. Okay, so this is past 24 hours for our 131 angstrom view, and we'll see this activity pop off. Some sympathetic activity as well. You'll notice this. So we do get some activity from over here. There it is. That's the first flare, the first M flare of 4 in the past 18 hours. But then we see some more. So over here, it's not going to impact us if it launches something. Though it is starting to ionize the Earth. So the global electric circuit is activating at this moment in time. There's a coronal mass ejection. But this is really the one to watch as it relates to an Earth center direct solar flare and coronal mass ejection combo. So that is very potentially coming in very soon. I actually think that's quite likely. Or 304 angstrom view of the sun. And we'll see that last flare that we had. Ooh, there we go. Look at that. Wow, I haven't seen this yet. Okay, so we're getting tons of plasma activity from that sunspot group. I don't know the number. I would have to look it up. That's pretty wild. Wow. Whoa. Lots of activity there. Was that 3 in a row? I think that was 3 in a row. Yeah, because it just reset. So let's count it. It's really spitting some energy out into space, isn't it? 1. Wow. That's crazy. Then we get our second one there. 2. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, so some significant plasma ejections from that sunspot group, which has been flaring, and we see new ones coming in. This one, though, 4420, really the one to watch. That's wild, though, as it gets to Earth center. So that is it for today's video. Wanted to show you guys what was happening with Kilauea, and well, it turns out there's a lot more happening too. Magnitude 4 earthquake striking New Madrid. We have this comet coming into view, C2025 R3 PANSTARRS. That will be perfectly aligned with the sun and the Earth around the 25th, 26th of April. And we also have solar activity getting pretty wild right now. One last thing to mention with this, actually, is that keep in mind, PANSTARRS is coming in from this angle, right? So when we look for this activity between the sun and a comet, it's along the vector. That's what's really key. You know, we're not seeing activity from, let's say, here. We may see this sunspot activate when it's Earth center direct, when the comet is also Earth center direct. But right now, the comet is coming in at this angle, and we're seeing this sunspot go crazy. I mean, that is nuts. So it's perfectly aligned with this at this moment in time. And again, the comet's in front of the sun, so it's not exactly at the side angle. This here is about a 45-degree angle out. So is it any surprise that we're seeing big solar activity go right in that vector direction as this comet is flying in like this? I personally, no. To me, I'm not surprised. We've been forecasting this. Maybe to someone that is, for some reason, still denying this connection between comets and solar activity, they're like, oh, coincidence. But anyone that's been tracking this and doing it seriously and going off of observations rather than just, oh, well, we think we know everything and so therefore it's not this, right? If you go off observations, the connection is very, very clear. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much. Please smash that like button, subscribe to stay up to date on what is happening with the Earth energetically. This earthquakes, volcanoes, solar flares, comets, all the things just like we discussed in today's video. Wishing you all a great day. Sending you lots of love and light. Please take care of yourselves. Big video coming out tonight, so make sure you watch it. It's a conversation between myself and Natalie Namaste. She's a channeler. We talk about a once in 12,000 year conjunction that's occurring right now. So I was about to edit the video before I jumped on this one, but I saw this was all happening. So I'm going to get that video edited and posted tonight. Make sure you watch it. You're going to definitely want to tune into that one. It's very, very powerful stuff. And this is a rare moment in time for these energies. So I'm going to get that out as soon as I can. Thank you all. See you soon and have a great day.